DFW Undercover. This interview on the couch with Paco Estrada. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic.
We have.
Here.
How are we?
Yeah.
Been busy.
Yeah. Good.
Just like you, man.
Good.
You've been
Yeah.
a busy guy.
Busy is good. Idle time, man. It's not good.
Idle. What is it? Idle mind is the devil's playground. Is that what they
something
say?
like that. Idle hands, idle mind, idle everything.
We've been trying to get a hold of you for quite a few months to do this, and you've been one busy guy. Why don't you tell everybody why you've been so busy?
Well, I'm a full-time musician, so keeping work on Fridays and Saturdays, which are the best nights, to pay rent. That can be quite a chore. I'm kind of a one-man team right now. I hire out the musicians that play with me, so I'm in charge of everything I do. Not currently with any kind of management or label, so everything that I want to happen for my music has to be done by me. So I just released an EP, and I set the goal of releasing one video per every song on the EP, which is a 5-song EP. I started that about 2 months ago. I've released 2 videos so far, so I have 3 more to go, and that's recording and editing, and it's a process, and it takes a lot of time. So just doing that. Sometimes it's hard to get, like I said, a couple of texts will stack up, and the next thing you know, I wake up next morning, I got 10 more, and then this and that. I'm trying to negotiate, where I'm going to play, and all that kind of stuff at certain clubs across Texas, and I get behind, and I'll remember, man, I need to call Bill, and so I even, it had been on my mind for about a week, and I'd been pretty busy, and I just kept trying to get to the point where, I need to sit down, and you find the last text he sent me, and let him know, hey, I'm totally interested, and I want to do this, but things are just kind of swamped right now, so.
You have been busy. You've been playing. I've been keeping up on your Facebook. You've been to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Where else have you been? You've been to quite a few places.
I try to do Austin and San Antonio. I haven't done San Antonio in a while, but I try to do Austin, San Antonio once a month. I do Tyler pretty frequently. I do. I'm about to do a West Texas run. I'll be doing Abilene Friday and Saturday night.
Awesome.
I'll go up. I haven't been to Tulsa and Oklahoma in a while, but I'll go up as far as Oklahoma City and Tulsa. I did that earlier this year. So yeah, between those shows, and then I'm always just trying to do something at Trees or a Curtain Club at least 4 to 6 weeks apart, to keep one kind of big full band Dallas show, as well as I'll take a few little acoustic things during the week here and there.
That's cool. We actually met you at Andy's. That was 3 months ago.
Yeah, I haven't actually played 10 since, but
really.
I did my side project also. I'm involved in a hip hop project where I write and sing, and so I try to be open to, I got to keep them in mind and make sure that when they take a show, I'm available. I'm not trying to hinder them. I didn't enter the project so that way I could never play live. So I try to take those shows into account, and I don't actually advertise for those shows myself. I need to promote myself, but they do a lot of promotion, and it's growing. It's doing really well.
What's the name of the
It's called Space Camp. Unfortunately, when they named it, it's a younger gentleman who is the front man and sort of the brains behind the project. And I guess he hadn't seen the movie Space Camp from the 80s, nor did he realize, obviously, there's a space camp in Houston. So right off the bat, we released a little 5-song EP, and we started having trouble with the website and whatnot. And people were like, well, where do I go? Space Camp. And so we abbreviated it. It's SPCCMP. We just took out all the vowels.
Oh, that's cool.
We're kind of using that. That's the website, spccmp.com, facebook.com/spccmp. We're putting in all our T-shirts. Hopefully, people will get it and catch on.
So where's the hip hop? Where is it from? Is it Dallas?
It's all Dallas based.
Okay.
There was an old band called The Salutation, and I met with the front man from that band, and it just wasn't happening for them. And I thought he was extremely talented and a great storyteller, great rapper. I offered him some of my tunes, some of my choruses, and he just began taking it to another level. And
That's cool.
I guess right now where I'm at is I'm just really open-minded, and I want to put my hands in as many possible honey pots as possible. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to limit myself, and I'm always writing song. I always really have material, sort of a source that I'm really blessed that is not tapped in.
Well, you're a creator, and you want people to hear what you create. That's
Yeah.
very understandable.
And I don't, I like to, hip hop music there aren't a lot of boundaries. There aren't a lot of walls. It's very different, especially coming from South of Femme and rock music. There's a lot of rules, you know, for such a reckless type of music, or people think, you know, that you break rock and roll breaks the rules, but there's a lot of rules in rock and roll for what it has to sound like in order for it to be called rock and roll. And hip hop's very different. There's a lot of freedom to use whatever sounds you want to use, whether they're synthesized or not.
And that's the way rock and roll used to be when it first came out.
Yeah,
You could do whatever you wanted. The crazier, the better.
yeah, yeah. I miss those days, and that's another thing I work hard on is, you know, with this EP. You know, I did all the artwork from scratch and whatnot, and you know, I'm working on a new record that will be released in the fall called Bedtime Stories. It's a lot of video. So it'll be my first DVD. It'll be a CD/DVD, and it'll let you in on the studio experience. And that's one thing I've always stood by is album artwork and bringing that concept back. I think if you make good records, you know, people will continue to respect and enjoy your music and spread your music. You know,
Of course.
a lot of young bands when I work with. When I do co-writes with younger people, everybody's so obsessed with this, the single, you know, and you know, some sort of radio route, you know, and the rock music on radio is just it's like a carbon copy of a carbon copy. Why would I want to hear this when I could go listen to this great album where this was already done, you know?
Sure.
So,
What's your EP called?
How I Spent My Summer Vacation.
Awesome.
I just kind of, I recorded it last fall, and the songs were written during the summer, and it just made sense to me. And I was looking for the right artwork, and came across some photos of my nephew when he and I were screwing around in the pool. You know, I got my first underwater camera, and he was very excited about that, and so we took a few pictures, and it just seemed to kind of mesh up pretty perfectly.
That's awesome, man. It's a nice EP. It looks great. Very professionally
yeah,
done.
I'm really proud of it. Some people have said it's reminiscent of Nirvana Nevermind with the little kid underwater. You know?
Well, no, there's not a
there's
not a little penis showing.
Yeah. I watched the documentary not too long ago, and that kid, they interviewed that kid who was on the cover.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
It's nice, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really reflect what I'm doing live.
Yeah.
The producer approached me, wanted to do it. I didn't have any goals in mind other than to just record something and sort of see how our relationship worked.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, we kind of went a little crazy. It's like each song has its own sort of style, and like there's a song that's kind of country, and we went ahead and just said let's do some banjo on it, you know.
Oh, cool.
And there's one song that has a full horn section, and it was just sort of experimentation. Obviously, it represents my songwriting more than anything.
So it's real diverse.
It's very diverse from song
Okay.
to song, even though there's only 5 songs on it.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of just an experiment. But the real record that I'm very interested in promoting is Bedtime Stories, and hoping to have that out in October. And we went down to Leander for about 10 days, and well, I stayed 10 days, and I had some musicians come up from Austin. I had some musicians come down from Dallas, and I think the record's going to be incredible. It's very reflective of what my live sound is now. The songs are just, you know, some of my best material.
Yeah.
You know, so
See, that's what I like about you, man. like I said, I've been following you on Facebook. We've talked quite a few times, and you think big. And that's the way you have to be, man. You got to think outside the box, and you definitely do that. I mean, you're bringing in all these musicians to actually help you with a project that you want to do. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's fantastic. That's musician helping musician succeed.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parts of Texas that are divided musically, you know. I think that's hindered us in many ways, and it doesn't really make sense. We're not really in competition with each other, you know.
Exactly.
I guess I mean, to assume that, you know, they're only handing out one record deal a year, which is not, you know, it's, I mean, you know, but these days, you know, they're not really handing out record deals, period. So it's kind of, you know, you got to be realistic with yourself of what can you offer and who are you offering it to. And to me, it's like, I know my fan base. I know that, you know, I know that there will be 100 diehard fans that will want that special box set, you know, will want that extra mile, you know. And I know the other, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 people that never show up at once, but show up at random times at my shows across the region, you know. I know that they'll, you know, they'll still want to pick up just a regular $10 record, you know, at some point, or buy it online, and I'm okay with that fan base, you know. I'm proud that I have a fan base, and I know that slowly but surely my music will spread, but I have to look at it as what, you know, what do I have, and how can I be honest enough with myself as a musician to say, you know, this is what you can do, and I always shoot big because I want to be the biggest. I always want to beat what I did before, you know. But I also got to, you know, I realize it's like I'm not trying to get on some, you know, I'm not making decisions to get picked up by some major label or to hopefully my fans will call in and get a single picked up on the radio. You know, I just don't think I don't think that's realistic. You know, I think you should cater to your fan base and cater to people you have,
and they'll bring more fans.
They will. They really will. You know, it's like I have fans that tell, "Hey, I just turned this person on to your stuff." You know, slowly but surely. You know, I think if you just focus on putting out quality music, you know, more than anything.
And it's all about self-promotion, and like word of mouth is a fantastic thing. It's the best advertising you can get.
And I think if you maintain your integrity on a show-by-show basis, and if it's always quality, and you focus on putting out quality, I mean, then every time someone talks about you, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes a long way, rather than, you know, sometimes bands rush it and put out something that's just not, you know, it's like a lot of kids forget how important the songwriting is, you know.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, when we saw you at Andy's as DFW Undercover, when we first just started doing this, you blew us away, man. We were like, whoa,
that's awesome.
This guy is awesome.
I think I had to do that. I did it acoustic.
Yeah, you did it acoustic. You did a lot of covers with a little twist to them. This guy is awesome.
Yeah. And that show was a lot of my peers were on that. You know, nothing more. I've worked on I've done pre-production on their last 3 records, and did a lot of co-writes on their latest release, and those are my boys, you know. And so it's like when I jump on shows like that, I'm just like, man, it's gonna be awesome because I get to hang out and drink with my boys, you know, at the end of the night. And I have a lot of friends throughout Texas that are like that. You know, I respect all my fellow musicians, and I mean, who else would understand what I'm going through more than the people that are, you know, doing what I do?
Exactly.
And so I would, you know, those are my closest friends. You know, those people I trust the most, that understand my life and my lifestyle. And you know, that night, you know, it was just a blessing to kind of be with them. You know, I didn't expect for it to lead to anything. You know, I thought I'll be there. I got to open up the show. No one's going to be there. You know, it's so early. You know,
we were there,
so, and that's awesome. And that's awesome.
Well, and that brings me to another point is we know you're friends with a lot of musicians, and I'd just like you to kind of do a shout out some local bands just in the DFW area that you just really dig. You can even talk about some San Antonio and Austin if you want to.
Yeah, you know, DFW, I wish I could be more involved. Unfortunately, because I'm always out of town, you know. And sometimes, like when I play trees, you know, sometimes the bartenders or the staff will kind of give me some lit because like, well, how come you hadn't been down here promoting, you know, for the show? And I was like, well, I'm out of town, you know. Besides the weekend I'm playing here, you know, I gotta go make money somewhere else, you know, make sure my bills are paid. But I'm real proud of his name's Scott. I can't remember his last name. The Orange. He's been doing that for a long time, and I've seen him grow from a young kid into an adult, you know, a young male. I think he does really well with his music, and I think he doesn't get lost in am I going to get signed and all that stuff, and he stays focused on his fan base and stay true to what you know he wants to put out, and I think he thinks big too, you know, and the records he's always put out are really incredible. Old Jug of Whiskey, I think they're great. I think Bryce's song he used to play in Never Set, and he played in the Cast, which the drummer of the Cast is Clint Barlow, who runs trees, runs and books trees, and he also I don't know if he's still playing with Vanilla Ice, but he would drum for Vanilla Ice. So
oh wow,
yeah. So Clint's awesome, but yeah, he was playing for the Cast and whatnot, and you know, so anyway, Bryce went on to do Old Jug of Whiskey, and then he's an incredible songwriter. You know, I think that's great. I'm trying to think what else do I really like in town. I love the singer-songwriters that don't they kind of get overlooked. It's hard for the singer-songwriters to find places to play. You find them at like Opening Bell or you know these little Monday night gigs. Girls like Christy Krueger has been around for years. There's a few other Becky Middleton.
You know Ashley Fogout?
Oh, do I know Ashley Fogo? Yes, I do.
Is that how you say her name, Fogo?
I would say Falgu.
Falgu, really?
But I probably say it differently every time I talk to her.
How is she?
She's amazing. She actually, I put out a record in 2011 called The Definite and Indefinite, and she did backup vocals on one of the tracks.
She's actually doing a acoustic showcase for DFW Undercover.
Oh, that's awesome.
At the lab, the one I sent you a message about.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's actually decided to go ahead and do that. She doesn't have any fan base and then, but she will after she leaves there.
Yeah, she will. She as soon as she plays somewhere, when people hear her, you know, they fall in love. And I did too. I've worked with her at Valley of the Kings, which is where I've done my last few records. Yeah, she's just amazing voice.
Cool.
Her songwriting is going to get better and better. She's always working on it, you know, and she's beautiful, you know, so yeah, she's amazing. I got her down at South by Southwest this past year.
Cool.
Made sure there was a slot for her to come down and play. And, yeah, she kicks ass. She's really amazing.
Well, you are too, man, and tell the fans where else they can find you. It's just not Facebook, man. There's got to be other ways.
No, I give out pretty much everything but my number when I hand out my card, you know. I'm real big on Instagram, you know. It's just so much easier than typing up something. Just to take a picture, let people know where you're at or what's going on. Twitter and Instagram are great ways to communicate with other people. Obviously, the more followers you have and more people following you, people retweet or you know, once someone comments on your photo on Instagram, then all their followers can see that they commented, and it's just a great community to be in touch with people and connect with people, but without losing any sort of privacy. It's not as, you know, it's sort of it's very social, you know. I think Facebook can draw a line of, is it a social network, and then it just becomes people's lives, and it's a little too. I wouldn't have a Facebook if I didn't have to advertise for shows and stuff. But even when you go to PacoEstrada.com, it goes straight to my Facebook, because these days, you know, if it's not in that direct feed when people get online, And maybe they look at it, maybe they don't, and they just skip straight to their messages, which happens a lot. But if it's not there, then it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even do invites or make events anymore. I just take my flyer and I try to separate those people that are in that town. And if I'm going to advertise for that show, I'm going to try to paste my flyer like right on your page.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or I still make phone calls and send out texts every time. That's just kind of the best way. But I guess those are people that do have my cell phone number. And of course they get mad at me. They're like, you only text when you have a show. You never text to say hi.
I am saying hi with the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else? Anything specifically before we let you play one of your songs? Anything specifically you would like just tell? Any shows coming up? Anything going on?
Things are a little slow right now. I'm about to do 2 weeks in Alaska.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna actually be playing some bars up there, which will be cool. But I have some family, and I'm just gonna do some deep sea fishing. I'm working real hard on this DVD. It's the first DVD I've ever done. I'm doing it from scratch. Obviously, at some point, I will need to involve somebody to help me do the menu and whatnot. But I'm working really hard on making this footage something that even people that aren't fans of mine can watch this DVD and the sort of documentary on the studio experience and fall in love with the songs right away and sort of see how it all happens. I caught enough video to where every song is sort of that. Sometimes I've gotten able to get some natural moments because everybody, with the cameras being on the whole time, right after a couple minutes, people just start being themselves, and we get to work and start recording. So I was able to capture some pretty priceless things.
Awesome. We'd like to get one of those, by the way.
Yeah, well, I can't. I mean, I can't wait to have that out. Obviously, I'll push 1,000 copies right off the bat and see what happens until I run out. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a record to me that'll rival, some of my older stuff. I think I set the bar real high with South FM's second record. And then I came back when I had, Paco Estrada and One Love, and just the amazingness of the players that I had. The percussionist played on the cajon, the violin player played through electric guitar, pedals and whatnot, and the sound was amazing. And I think that record really stood out and brought a larger fan base to my shows. And then 2011, it was just more of a record that I needed to kind of get out for my own personal reasons. Certain songs that I just wanted people to hear, wanted certain people to hear, And but this is something that I really take. This is something that I think will step up to the plate. I just think the songs are really relatable and incredible.
Well, just let us know and we'll promote it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna need all the help. I want to do a big show, CD release probably at Kessler down in Oak Cliff.
Oh, that's cool. You play there a lot. I've seen you play there quite a few times.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And I'm going to get Normal involved. I'm going to try to get a few other non-profit organizations involved.
Cool.
So that way it can be more of an event. And I'll try to find some really incredible bands to do it with me.
So what are you going to play for us?
Well, we went in to record the record. And at first it was going to be a little 8-song EP, and we were going to actually package these 2 EPs together. And I had this song that I wrote a couple of days before we went into the studio. And I didn't have any verses for it, so I wrote the verses in the studio, but I had the chorus. And I was like, guys, check this song out. I really think it's something, it's got to make the record. And everybody was really excited about it. So we ended up putting the song on it, made the 9th song, and then to round it off, we used a part of the song to make sort of a little intermission, kind of 2-minute, 3-minute little clip. So it rounds out the album. We decided to do a full-length record, 10 songs.
Sweet.
Something about Van Morrison has been with me a lot. I grew up with the song Into the Mystic, and I guess it was my first connection to the idea of reincarnation. And growing up, that's a Methodist minister's son. That's, really reincarnation. It's not, they don't teach you about that. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, they just don't cover it. And as I expanded my spiritual path and began to be more open to certain things, that's just one song that resonates with me. And it sort of covers a type of love that is beyond our lifetimes. Sometimes we're connected with somebody. And that's what that song sort of reminds me of when he talks about Into the Mystic. And I really wanted to, I write songs about love, and I try to look at love from different aspects in relational situations. And recently I was just trying to harness that, whatever he harnessed, into creating a song that sort of talked about a timeless love. And so this is what came of it. And we went very Van Morrison, but we went with that sort of style on the record. I was very happy with the way it turned out. I can't wait for people to hear it. But this song still doesn't technically have a title. We gotta figure that out. Times we'll never forget. These are the moments that make the hard times worth it. I can hear forever calling us into the dark. I follow the beat of your heart. We go dancing in the dead of night, covered in moonlight, baptized by the rainfall, bathing in eternity. Love was just a metaphor written for the night, covered in moonlight, bathing in eternity. It was always just you and me. Yeah, honey, we're all made of stars, and there ain't no love in the universe that isn't ours. Girl, you're my fountain of youth, my church in the wild, a door to the mystic, a home to a child, and forever will be eternally. Yeah. We go dancing in the dead of night, covered in moonlight, baptized by the rainfall, bathing in eternity. Love was just a metaphor written for the night, covered in moonlight, bathing in eternity. It was always just you and me. It was always just you and me. It was always just you and me. Dancing in the dead of night. We go dancing in the dead of night, covered in moonlight, baptized by the rainfall, bathing in eternity. Love was just a metaphor written for the night, covered in moonlight, bathing in eternity. It was always you and me. Yeah, it was always you and me. Dancing in the dead of night, covered in moonlight, bathing in eternity.
That was awesome, man. Or I guess they do this.
Yeah.
That was great, man. That's fantastic.
So that was sort of, I don't know, it was kind of a cool experience to as a songwriter, most of the time things kind of come to you, and the song definitely came to me, but it was cool to sort of revamp something old that I believe in, And back then when they made records, everybody, you got your take, you got your one take. There wasn't a lot of edits. They couldn't edit anything actually. I mean, you'd start over, and that's how I did this record. Everybody that came in to play listened to, the acoustic, played along once, and then we hit record, and
Wow, that's pretty
and
awesome.
if there was anything that they messed up on, I was like, well, let's just go back to the top, which happened very rare. I took musicians and that were top-notch guys, but
Awesome.
yeah, and it shows. It shows. I think when you listen too much, you start writing a part, and then you end up writing a part, and when it's just fresh on you, I think that's when you play what the song needs, and you don't overplay. And so yeah, it's just a cool. Even though it wasn't recorded live, it has that live vibe to it. So
That's cool.
I'm really excited about it.
Well, dude, we appreciate you finally coming over
Hey,
here and talking to us. Enjoyed it. Let us know what's going on, man. Anything you got going on, just let us know. We'll promote you, man.
For sure, yeah. I'll be selling this EP, and obviously, still be playing shows here and there. But come October, when Bedtime Stories is ready, I'll be doing every show. I hope to have a full band. Not be doing these little acoustic shows at least for a little while, just to get a full promotion out. And so that way, people all around Texas that some places don't see me just play acoustic. I want them to see the full band and
Get the full experience.
yeah, and then take that record home. We'd be playing all the songs on my record and know it and remember it from the live. And have that sort of situation.
Awesome.
Just the way it used to be.
Well, thank you, brother, very
Yeah,
much.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
She is a skeleton that keeps my secret.